Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today, as usual, man. You guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. Man, oh, man. And in this video, man, we're going to talk about this article that was sent to me, man. Once again, shout out to you guys that continue to support my channel through the emails, like I said, the comments, all this stuff, guys. It means a lot. Shout out to David Bulgaria. Sent me an email, and it was a link to a website, and the website was called the100greatest.com. The100greatest.com. And the article, the link that I was sent was a link to an article, and the article says, "Why is LeBron James the GOAT?" That was the title of the article. Why is LeBron James the GOAT? And I mean, it's a long article, man. I couldn't read all of this stuff, man. I read most of it. I skimmed through it. I read some of the main points, some of the areas that I thought, was more important than others. Because it was a long article, like I said, man. These LeBron James fans, this is what they have to do. They have to write these long articles to try to explain how LeBron James is somehow even close to Michael Jordan, let alone greater than Michael Jordan. But I wrote down some of the clips, or not some of the clips, I wrote down some of the quotes from this article that this person, this clown Jake, I think his name is Jake, the person who runs this website. So everyone has a website, everyone has a podcast now, everyone has a platform, but they don't know what they're talking about. This person did not watch basketball back in the day, but claims that they know all this stuff about basketball. And we're going to talk about this video because it doesn't make any sense, because there is no way to explain. There is no argument for LeBron James being the greatest of all time, but this dude Jake from the100greatest.com is going to write an article and explain, why is LeBron James the GOAT, why he is the GOAT. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states, man, has been supporting my channel. Once again, like I said, guys, shout out to David Bulgaria, shout out to John Cook, shout out to Howard Hollis, Joshua Gonzalez, Jason Carson, Theophanis Scorty. I hope I didn't mess your name. I probably did. Sorry. And Andrew Roby. Shout out to all you guys, man, that come through the emails. Like I said, the live streams. You guys donate to the channels. It means a lot. Much respect, man. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. Excuse me for a second, guys. So, yes, guys, like I said, man. Like I said, shout out once again to David Bulgaria for sending me this clip. Excuse me, or the link to this article. Because, my goodness, it never ceases to amaze me. Like, just when you thought you heard the dumbest or the weirdest thing, these people, they take it a step further, right? They want to hold my beer. You think that was outrageous? You thought that was a hot take? Hold my beer, and I'm going to show you what a hot take is. I'm going to show you some outlandish comments or some outlandish takes, man. Just doesn't make any sense. And it's always a LeBron James fans. So like I said, I was sent a link to an article, and the title of the article was called, "Why is LeBron James the GOAT?" Why he is the GOAT. And it's a whole article explaining why he's the GOAT versus Michael Jordan, literally versus Michael Jordan. And this guy goes through all these different categories, right? Like clutch and, the eras that they played in and their versatility, just all of these different things that this person decided to write about, right? And like I said, when you're reading these articles, like I said, I read most of it. I didn't read all of it, but I did read most of it. It's just asinine. See, the reason why you can't read the whole article is because I found myself getting dumber as I was reading it more and more. Like I said, when you listen to LeBron James fans speak, if you go to a LeBron James channel, you're going to be dumber. You're not going to be educated. You're going to feel stupider than you did when you originally got there. So as I'm reading this article, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. It's like listening to LeBron James speak in a post-game press conference or on his podcast. You can't listen to this dude. I couldn't read any more of this nonsense. And I wrote down some of the quotes from this article that I read that really will highlight and show you guys why I couldn't read this entire thing and how stupid and, just like I said, outlandish the LeBron James fans are willing to go to try to make an argument. That's what they're doing here. They're trying to create an argument for LeBron James. And it's insane that they try to make it seem like the other way around. Like we're trying to create arguments for Michael Jordan. I don't have to create an argument. I don't have to write a 10-page article or make all these different points. All I got to do is look at Michael Jordan play the game of basketball, and I can clearly say and see that he's greater than LeBron James, man. And that's how simple it is, because they're not that close. They're not. This guy's trying to say that LeBron James is greater, obviously, and tried to make all these points for LeBron James that, once again, it's all a bunch of word salad for these people. It's all smoke screens and mirrors. It's all excuses, right? And he highlighted some numbers. That's all these guys got, are some weird numbers that, once again, they're not giving you the full picture or the full context behind the numbers. They will never do this because they can't give you perspective or context because they don't know the history of the game. How can you give someone context or perspective when you don't know anything? These guys claim to know something. So we're going to talk about it here, guys. So now the first thing that I wrote down was this. He says, the argument that can be crafted for Jordan, you see what he said there? You see the word he used, crafted? The argument that can be crafted for Jordan isn't even close to the argument that can be made for James. So you see what he did there? He used that word crafted there, right, for Michael Jordan, but then he used the word made for James, right? So he says the argument that can be crafted for Jordan, like I just mentioned, I don't have to craft an argument. I don't have to make up an argument out of thin air and try to, like I said, make all these excuses and try to bend reality and rewrite history for Michael Jordan. I don't have to lie for Michael Jordan, right? I don't have to lie about his contemporaries, the era that he played in. I don't have to lie about none of this stuff. But these LeBron James fans are always having to lie, change, and create a narrative, rewrite history, right? Bend reality. They have to craft an argument. They had to create this weird argument for LeBron James. That's why you'll often see, and I saw in this article from the LeBron James fans, anytime there's a LeBron James, Michael Jordan debate, conversation, topic, whatever you want to call it, they always have to bring up other players. So in this article, for example, I don't know how many times I saw Will Chamberlain's name come up. I don't know how many times I saw Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's name come up, right? Bill Russell's name come up, right? You saw other players' names being mentioned, right? And this is a typical LeBron James fan thing. Like I said, they always feel the need to bring up the other great players. So when you debate Michael Jordan versus LeBron James, you can never do that. It's always Michael Jordan versus LeBron James versus Kareem Abdul-Jabbar versus Wilt Chamberlain versus Larry Bird versus Bill Russell versus Magic Johnson. There's a bunch of guys that you have to debate against. Because if you make a point in relation to Michael Jordan versus LeBron James, and the LeBron James fans have no response, then they'll bring up Wilt Chamberlain. They'll bring up Bill Russell, right? So if you say, well, Michael Jordan won more championships than LeBron James, that's a factual statement, is it not? Michael Jordan won 6, LeBron James won 4. That's the facts there. What will they say? Well, if championships is the A-all, B-all, then Bill Russell's the GOAT. No one ever said that that's the A-all, B-all. What we're pointing and highlighting is that Michael Jordan won more championships than LeBron James. Did he not? Why can't you guys just say, yes, he did? Yeah, instead, you got to go bring up Bill Russell, right? You got to bring up Robert Horry. You guys are weird. That doesn't make sense. That's not reality. If you say Michael Jordan won more MVPs than LeBron James in less time, they'll bring up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Oh, well, if MVPs are the A-all, B-all, then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the GOAT. What are we talking about? We're talking about Michael Jordan having more than LeBron James. Are we? Is that factual? Is that accurate? Can you argue that? No, you can't. LeBron James fans can't argue that fact. So what do? They make it about someone else. Oh, well, Kareem has 6, though. We're not talking about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? Yeah, well, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar also has 6 championships and 2 Finals MVPs. Right? There's a lot of things that we can talk about, right? About with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Is it other plays versus Michael Jordan? But in these debates, they can never stay on topic. So this person says, then you have to craft an argument. This person really believes that the argument for Jordan isn't even close to the argument that can be made for LeBron James. There is no argument for LeBron. What's the argument for LeBron James? He scored more points, total points than Michael Jordan. That's the argument. He lost more than Michael Jordan in the finals. That's the argument. He played in a tougher era than Michael Jordan. That's the argument. There's no evidence to support any of those statements. You can't say that LeBron James played in a tougher era or his competition was stiffer when the men played in the weakest Eastern Conference in NBA's history, and we have the numbers. These guys love numbers. We have the numbers to back that up. I did the video on this, guys. The wins and losses, Eastern Conference versus Western Conference from 2005 to 2015. I did the numbers. 10 years straight, guys. The West dominated the East. Over 100 more wins. You do that same comparison in the 90s, the Eastern Conference versus Western Conference, head-to-head comparison, head-to-head matchups. The East won that by 3 games. 3 games, guys. That's how close it was. That's called balance. That wasn't one conference stronger than the other and dominating, and these guys are getting all this. Why do you think there were so many teams in the Western Conference, guys, during that time that were winning 50-plus games? Why do you think that was? Remember, people love to talk about, oh, Kobe Bryant, they played against as many 50-win teams, right? All these 50-win teams. Remember, there were teams that were getting 50 wins that were the 8th seed. There were teams that were having above 500 records, but they were missing the playoffs. And in the Eastern Conference, you had a bunch of crap teams making the playoffs. Remember, they wanted to go to a 16-team playoff bracket. The best 16 teams make it, not 8 in each conference, because the East was so crappy compared to the West. That's not the case in the 90s. A lot of those teams in the West in the 2000s, like I said, I mentioned, that were getting these 50 wins, guys, the reason why a lot of those teams had more wins than the East, because the East was crap. So they were building up those wins going against a crappy East. It wasn't necessarily speaking to the greatness or the quality of the teams in the Western Conference necessarily top to bottom, as it was more highlighting the weakness of the East versus that West. In the 90s, that wasn't the case. There were more 60-win teams in the 90s than any other era in NBA's history, guys, since they went to an 82-game schedule in 1968. More 60-win teams in the 90s than any other era, the 70s, the 80s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and so on and so forth, guys, the 2020s. More 60-win teams, but that wasn't the result of the Western Conference beating up on a weak East or the East beating up on a weak West. It was a balance. So what you had was a balance between the East really good teams and the West really good teams. And yes, you had bad teams in there, but this wasn't a case of a one conference beating up on a weaker conference. All right? The really good teams in each conference were really good. There was a balance to the league. So he's talking about the argument that there is no argument for LeBron James. Like I said, I just don't get it. What is your argument? Who was better on defense, LeBron James or Michael Jordan? It's obviously it was Michael Jordan, but what do LeBron James fans try to do? They try to finagle some weird scenario. They try to craft an argument by saying, oh, LeBron James on the Miami Heat, he made 4 all-defensive first teams. Oh, LeBron James was a great two-way player for like 3 years. The man played for 22 seasons. They want to pull out a snapshot of his career for 4 seasons where he gave effort versus Michael Jordan, who's playing defense his entire career. His entire career he played defense and gave the effort. LeBron James ain't gave effort on defense in a long time. So you can't say, oh, LeBron James is a better defender. Oh, he could guard 1 through 5. Jordan can't. LeBron James never guarded 1 through 5. You're saying that he could. He had the potential to, but never saw it through. Never was that guy. Michael Jordan has the numbers backing him defensively, and we have the on-court game video footage backing us up. I don't see Michael Jordan standing right like this on defense all game long, watching guys dribble right past him. I don't see Michael Jordan walking up across half court. I mean, Michael Jordan made it across half court. How many times we see LeBron James not even make it across half court? What are you arguing against here, my man? This clown Jake that runs this freaking stupid website. What are you arguing, dude? The man stands around on defense for years now. There's a reason why he hasn't made an all-defensive team in his 30s, you clowns. What are we arguing? Oh, LeBron James bigger than Michael Jordan. He could guard multiple positions. Being the possibility of you being able to guard multiple positions doesn't make you a greater defender. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. The dumbest thing. Michael Jordan actually played defense. LeBron James didn't. It's basically that simple, guys. Simple as hell. He don't have the numbers of LeBron James. Like I said, he don't have the accolades, and he don't have the video footage on court. Argument isn't even close. It isn't even close to the argument that can be made for LeBron James. Guys, it gets worse, guys. I wrote down some crazy stuff this person said. Let's go to the next one. It says here, further along in this article, whoever you support. No, excuse me. That's the end. Let me skip this and go to the next one. No. You know what? Yeah. Let's read this one. He says, if either of the two played on a super team, it was Jordan. This is what this fool Jake from the 100greatest.com, why is LeBron James the GOAT article says. I'll read it again. If either of the two played on a super team, it was Jordan. And you know what he used to explain this? He used, once again, the 1994 Chicago Bulls. So we're to believe that the 93 Bulls were a super team because the 1994 Bulls won 55 games versus 57 games when Michael Jordan was there the year before. So the 93 Bulls now are a super team. The 94 Bulls are a super team now because they won that many games. Once again, really what you're doing is highlighting Michael Jordan's greatness and the residue, right? The residuals left over from his greatness and his work ethic and the way he pushed his teammates in practice. That's really, but you won't mention that they acquired Tony Kukoc. You won't mention that they got Steve Kerr. You won't mention that they made these moves for players to fill in for Michael Jordan. You won't mention that, right? So once again, you also won't mention that the Bulls won 3 straight titles. And they went to 5 straight Eastern Conference Finals with Michael Jordan there. When you take him off the team, they went from a dynasty to a second-round exit. To me, that seems like a pretty significant drop-off, guys. If your team won 3 championships in a row, and then all of a sudden the next year they get knocked down in the second round, is that not a significant drop-off? Is that not you not? So obviously, I mean, Michael Jordan had an impact there. I mean, what are we talking about here? But if you're trying to say that that makes the Bulls a super team because they won an X amount of games when Michael Jordan left, this is what we're doing now. You see what I'm saying, guys? The Hunt to make these weird stretches. They have to try to create this false narrative. We all know what super teams are. Super teams are not great teams. That's a great team. See, what they try to do now, like I said, rewrite their history and bend reality here, is because LeBron James has been accused of creating super teams, because that's what he's done. They use that word crafted. LeBron James crafted his teams. He's created teams, right, through shady ways. Anthony Davis going to Lakers, that wasn't shady, guys. Does anyone remember Michael Jordan's best friend being an agent of a player that came to the Chicago Bulls? Was Michael Jordan's best friend the Dennis Rodman agent? Was Michael Jordan's best friend Scottie Pippen's agent? I'm confused here. I just don't get how these guys are trying to make this comparison here. LeBron James has obviously been more shady. And obviously, when we talk about the super teams, you guys don't understand what that means. You still don't get this. How do you guys understand when we talk about super teams? A super team has nothing to do with the amount of great players on your team. It's how you brought the team together, right? So when LeBron James is calling people up and they're on the phone, him and Dwayne Wade, oh, we got to stop Kobe Bryant, right? Oh, Kobe Bryant keeps winning championships. We got to do something about this, man. All right, well, I'll meet you on the banana boat and we'll talk about it. Oh, we got to get somebody else. Hey, man, I don't know how to win. I've never won a championship. I can't get past the Boston Celtics. Is there any way you can help me? When you're doing these kinds of things, when you're taking the best player from another team in your own conference to come follow you to another team in the Eastern Conference, then once again, that's a super team that you're trying to build. You're trying to build this team. You're trying to put a team together through your own personal influence. It's an influence that you gave. LeBron had all these options to stay in Cleveland, to go to the New York Knicks, to go to other franchises and build those franchises up. Maybe build them up, give them. Excuse me, guys. When we talk about the Miami Heat's winning culture, you could have brought a winning culture to some of these franchises, but you couldn't do that because you're a coward, LeBron James. But you're saying that Michael Jordan played for a super team? Super team. Even the second 3P Bulls, guys, were not a super team. It's funny to me how they say that the Detroit Pistons were old in 91 when the Bulls beat them. Dennis Rodman was on that team. So Dennis Rodman was old in 91. But like I told you, 5 years later when he's on the Bulls, he's not old? I mean, my God, that dude should be geriatric then by then. So Michael Jordan's essentially winning with geriatric teammates. And by all accounts, we can say that he did. Because in 1998, the Chicago Bulls became the oldest team in the NBA since winning championship. No excuse for Michael Jordan. So you're telling me that super team that Michael Jordan played on was actually the oldest team in NBA's history? What are we saying here? Once again, Michael Jordan never played in a super team. The teams he played on were super, but they weren't super teams in the way that LeBron James put his teams together. LeBron James ain't never played on a super team. Right? Does anyone think of LeBron James-led teams as the greatest teams of all time? Is anyone arguing for any LeBron James-led teams as the greatest teams of all time? Yeah, we can argue about the Miami Heat team, but once again, you had to put that team together. You didn't build that team up. So there's no one arguing that LeBron James ever led one of the greatest teams of all time. And that's not because he didn't play on a super team. That's because he didn't play on a super team. You understand the difference, guys? And he didn't make a team super. Michael Jordan made his team super. Bill Russell made his team super. Will Chamberlain made his team super. Right? Larry Bird made his team super. Right? Magic Johnson made the Lakers super. Right? This is what happens out there, guys. Made them a super team. Right? But they didn't have to finagle the things. They didn't have to call people up and do all kinds of weird, shady business dealings. They didn't need their best friends to be agents and have guys retrust trades. Any other stuff, guys. Michael Jordan played a super team. It's insane, guys. This is where LeBron James fans go. Let's take it a step further, guys. I'm telling you, it gets out even more. This is going to go long. It's going to go long, guys. I'm telling you right now, I got some crazy stuff to let you guys hear. Let's go to the next point. He says here, at 40 years old, James has essentially become Magic Johnson in his prime, but with a three-point shot. Seriously, if you aren't old enough to have seen Magic Johnson play basketball, LeBron at 40 is what it looked like. My goodness. The disrespect to Magic Johnson in that entire sentence, guys, is astounding to me. Astounding. Listen to what this dude, he said LeBron at 40 is what it looked like. So basically what he's saying, he said if you haven't seen or you weren't old enough to see Magic Johnson, LeBron at 40 is what it looked like. So this dude literally said that LeBron James at 40 is better or just as great as Magic Johnson in his prime. Magic Johnson, guys, the greatest playmaker, the greatest passer, the greatest point guard, the greatest player running the break, right? One of the great leaders in the history of the game. You're telling me that LeBron at 40 is that dude? I mean, think about that, guys. He said at 40 years old, LeBron has essentially become Magic Johnson in his prime. So he's saying LeBron at 40 is better or just as great as prime Magic Johnson? This is insane to me. I mean, he said, but with a three-point shot. If anyone thinks that LeBron James can shoot better than Michael Jordan, you guys are idiots. Idiots. Now, I know that Magic Johnson is not referred to or viewed or looked at as a scorer or a shooter. However, Magic Johnson worked on his shot. Magic Johnson had that set shot. So a lot of people with, oh, Magic Johnson can't shoot because he shoot that set shot. But go look at Magic Johnson's free throw percentage. LeBron James can't sniff those numbers at the free throw line. Can't sniff them. Magic Johnson can shoot the ball, guys. You remember Magic Johnson in the 92 All-Star game putting that show on the way that he did? I told you that's my favorite All-Star game moment was 92 Magic Johnson. The man was putting on a show, knocking down threes, hitting shots. Magic Johnson could shoot, man, all right? No, he wasn't Larry Bird, right? He wasn't Michael Jordan shooting or scoring the ball. Magic Johnson could do whatever he wanted to on the basketball court, guys. Do whatever he wanted to on the court. Guy could rebound. He could pass. He could do everything, guys. All right, remember that. He could score. He wasn't a scorer. He didn't have to score. His job was to play the point guard. But Magic Johnson could score the ball if he needed to. He could do whatever. He was a winner. He was a competitor, Magic Johnson. But this person to say that at 40 years old, LeBron James is Magic Johnson with a three-point shot is insane. If I need a shot, give me Magic Johnson. If I need my player or my leader to have the ball in their hands at the end of a game, I'm picking Magic Johnson all day. In the clutch, give me Magic Johnson. Because it's not just the shooting ability of Magic. It's like we always talk about the intangibles, the leadership, right? The heart, the grit, the toughness, the competitive fire of someone like Magic Johnson. Galvanizing the people around him, making the game easier for everyone else. LeBron James ain't making the game easier for Luka Doncic at age 40. He ain't making the game easier for Austin Reeves or Rui Hachimura. Did he make the game easier for Anthony Davis or D'Angelo Russell, who got traded out of there? Magic Johnson would have had Anthony Davis looking, like I said, all-world amazing. There would be no need for Anthony Davis to take blame playing alongside Magic Johnson, right? Austin Reeves would look greater playing with Magic Johnson, as I'm telling you right now, right? All these guys. Luka Doncic would look greater playing with Magic Johnson. Everyone that LeBron James has played with in his career, guys, would benefit more from playing with Magic Johnson. Dwayne Wade's greater with Magic Johnson. Chris Bosh, greater with Magic Johnson. Everyone, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, all these guys, they're greater with Magic Johnson, not LeBron James. And that's the fact, because Magic Johnson has galvanized the team around him. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was greater with Magic Johnson, guys. He was greater with Magic Johnson. Remember, these are the facts, guys. All right? The disrespect is insane. This dude said, if you weren't old enough to see, obviously you weren't old enough to see Magic Johnson, because what you're saying here doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up. There's no one out there in the world that believes LeBron James at 40 years old is like Magic Johnson in his prime, but with a three-point shot. That's laughable. So that's how I know. That's how I said with these guys. I tell you, they did not watch the game. This guy says if you weren't old enough to watch Magic Johnson, obviously you weren't old enough. And then he says LeBron at 40 is what it looked like. For you to say LeBron at 40 is what Magic Johnson looked like in his prime, that's all I need to know. You have no clue who Magic Johnson is. I don't know who you're talking about. It ain't Magic Johnson, though. Like I said, maybe it was Michael Johnson that you're talking about. I don't know who you watched or who you're saying or you're comparing LeBron at 42, but it definitely wasn't Irvin Magic Johnson. Maybe it was Irvin Johnson from the Seattle Supersonics back in the 90s, man. It wasn't Irvin Magic Johnson, though. You did not watch Irvin Magic Johnson play if you're comparing LeBron at 40. I mean, if you're comparing LeBron James at any age to Magic Johnson, you're insane. Magic Johnson does not... Don't ever relate Magic Johnson to LeBron James. And don't ever say LeBron James plays anything like Magic. Magic Johnson is a winner who galvanizes his teammates, makes everyone around him better. Goodness gracious. Let's go to another one, guys. I know it's going to go kind of long, but this guy said crazy stuff on here, as you guys can see here. Guys got me sweating here. I'm so aggravated with this stuff. He says here, Whoever you, so this at the end, right? Whoever you support, make sure you're using facts and logic to reach your conclusion. This shouldn't be a popularity contest, man. You know, it's laughable that they say to me, it shouldn't be a popularity contest. A lot of times you hear LeBron James fans bring this up. Oh, Michael Jordan's only viewed as the greatest of all time because he's more popular. Yeah, no, duh. Why do you think he's more popular? I mean, it's like people just like Michael Jordan just because he's a good-looking dude, because he's bald, because he's black, because he smiled at them. Like, what makes Michael Jordan so popular? I'm trying to figure this out. It's his game, you fools. He ain't just popular because he was trash. He ain't popular because he couldn't do nothing. He's popular because of the way he played the game. Right? The way that he could fly through the air. Air Jordan. Why do you think his sneakers are so popular? It has nothing to do with him just liking him. Oh, we just like Michael Jordan more than LeBron. If, by all accounts, Michael Jordan wasn't a nice guy, and yet somehow, some way, he's still viewed by most people as the greatest player of all time, but he wasn't the nicest guy. So obviously, it's not a popularity contest based off of strictly people liking Michael Jordan. He's popular because of his game, because of the way he played the game. He earned that level of stardom, that popularity, that fame, that adulation, the aura around him is earned. Not through lies and narratives, not through some made-up stories, through the actual facts, through the actual video footage of what he actually did. So the people like me who saw this, we began to talk about Michael Jordan and tell the stories of Michael Jordan and what he did. My goodness, man, it doesn't even add up what you guys are saying here. I mean, you're talking about support using facts and logic, but you just said LeBron at 40 was like watching Magic Johnson in his prime. That's not logic. That's not facts. Just because you put some numbers in your article doesn't mean that you have the facts, because once again, you've only highlighted certain numbers. That's why LeBron James fans are weird. They only highlight the numbers they want, which leads me into the next quote that he said. Now, someone commented on this, and I looked at the response that he had to this person's comment, and he said this. It was a whole long thing he wrote, but he said this is the key here. I'll take numbers over anyone's eyes, including my own. That's a weird statement to make, my friend. A weird statement to make, Jake, you weirdo. Jake from State Farm, it must be, because he doesn't know there's no basketball. He said, I'll take numbers over anyone's eyes, including my own. Now, oftentimes, we talk about the quote-unquote eye test on this channel. I've mentioned this. I don't understand what these guys don't get about that. What don't they understand about having to actually watch the games to understand and get the full picture of what's going on? The numbers are not giving you a full picture. They're not. I can watch the game and understand what happened. I don't need the numbers to tell me. The numbers are there to assist us in the game. The video footage, what we saw during the game. So there's been many games where you probably watched Michael Jordan, for example, where you're watching a game, Michael Jordan ends up with like 37 points at the end of the game, and you watch the entire game and you're like, damn, I didn't even realize he scored that many points. It didn't seem like he scored that many points. It came in the flow of the game, right? It didn't seem like he was shooting a lot or being super aggressive, but at the end of the game, Michael Jordan had 37 points, right? So these are the kinds of things I'm talking about. The numbers won't always necessarily give you a clear indicator of what happened on the court or how it happened. Because like I said, there's been many instances where a player scored X amount of points, but they came out at the end of the fourth quarter, or they came out, they didn't play the fourth quarter at all. Like, how many times did Michael could have went for 40 or 50 or 60, but he came out and checked himself out the game? That's why the numbers don't always tell you the picture. Do the numbers tell you about a guy's athleticism? Can that explain his game? No, it can't. So when we talk about the numbers, and this person says, I'll take numbers over my own eyes or anyone else's eyes, including my own, that's a weird statement, my friend. And it's no knock to the blind people out there. But your eyes are very valuable, right, guys? Eyes are very valuable, are they not? And once again, there's a reason why we have the eyes, to look at things and assess things visually. Visually, guys. The visuals is really all you need to understand that there's no dynamic where Michael Jordan and LeBron James are similar or close in any regard. They're not. Like I said, I could watch the game and clearly see that Michael Jordan's more skilled, more fundamentally sound, and was just greater on both sides of the ball. He was more consistent. He was a better leader, a greater competitor. I can see all that watching the video footage. When LeBron James don't make it across half court, when he stands there with his hands on his hips on the side, when he doesn't pay attention, his man goes behind him and scores, and he blames his teammates, that's on the video footage. I don't need numbers for none of this stuff. That's the facts. So it's like when they'll say, oh, they'll talk about some of these numbers. So like I said, this guy says, I'll take numbers over anyone's eyes. But the numbers that these guys look at and talk about are only the numbers they want to talk about. They never talk about turnovers for LeBron James, but they'll celebrate his assist numbers. You see what I'm saying, guys? When you talk about how many accolades Michael Jordan comes, these are numbers. Are these numbers? Michael has more championships, more MVPs, more all-defensive teams, right? He won a Defensive Player of the Year award. LeBron James never did that. So these are all numbers, are they not? Michael Jordan leads the league in career points per game in NBA's history, in the regular season and in the postseason. Those are numbers. These are all-time records that no one's even come close to. LeBron James can't sniff this stuff. So like I said, the numbers that they're talking about all point to Michael Jordan, but they only highlight certain numbers that they want to highlight. Like they'll highlight, LeBron James has more win shares. Win shares? Like what are we doing here, man? Like I said, what are we really saying? These numbers don't, all the advanced metrics point to Michael Jordan, guys. All the winning points of Michael Jordan. Like I said, all the accolades point to Michael Jordan. But they'll tell you about 40,000 points. Oh, LeBron James got 40,000 points. He's got more rebounds and assists than Michael Jordan. He's got more counting total cumulative stats than Michael. Those are the numbers you want to talk about, right? They'll highlight something like field goal percentage. So this person will say, oh, I don't care about the video footage. I don't care about what my eyes are telling me. All I need is the numbers. So if a person shoots 55% from the field, let's say, you don't care about the video footage? It doesn't matter to you how they got that 55% field goal percentage? Because everyone's field goal percentage is different. So you're telling me that because LeBron James shoots over 50% from the field for his career, the numbers say he has a higher field goal percentage than Steph Curry. Are you going to say that he's a better shooter than Steph Curry? I just don't get this stuff. It doesn't add up when people say this. Oh, I don't need the video footage. So if you don't need the video footage and you just look at numbers, the numbers will say that LeBron James shoots better than Steph Curry from the field? Will the numbers say, right, that the big men always have a higher field goal percentage? Does the number say that? So we can't just look at numbers, field goal percentages. We have to look at free throw percentages. All these things matter, man. You can't just say, oh, I don't care about the numbers. Oh, I care about the numbers only, no video footage. That's LeBron James fan world. They don't want to look at the video footage because the video footage shows LeBron James stumbling and bumbling, right? Hitting the side of backboards, making mistakes at the end of games, blowing 2-1 leads. That's the video footage shows. LeBron James walking off the court early, standing around, not playing any defense, not hustling across half court, right? Blaming his teammates all the time, not being coachable, load managing and flopping. That's what the videotape shows us. But this person says, oh, I don't care about the numbers. I just want numbers. So the numbers are 4-6. That means nothing to you. LeBron has 4 wins, 6 losses in the finals. Those are numbers. But you don't want to talk about those numbers. What do? You excuse the numbers. So you guys, once again, don't have a leg to stand on. Because all the numbers that we can highlight to show LeBron James is not that dude, you excuse those numbers, but then use the numbers that you want to use. Doesn't make any sense. He also says something about James has attempted nearly 5,000 more shots than Jordan and still has a massive advantage in scoring efficiency at nearly every type of shot on the court. This person really thinks that LeBron James is more efficient and has an advantage in scoring at nearly every spot on the court. There is no spot on the basketball court that LeBron James is more effective scoring the ball than Michael Jordan, guys. There isn't a single spot on the court. Not a single one. Not right under the rim, not above the rim, not in the paint, not in the mid-range, not from 3. There is no place on the court, guys, that LeBron James is more efficient or has an advantage scoring the ball over Michael Jordan, guys. But this person said that. This is what they're saying. Why? Based off of field goal percentages? This is what we're basing it off of? It doesn't make any sense. There's no one in their right mind. Once again, the video footage shows and highlights Michael Jordan being a much better shooter from inside the paint, being a better finisher at the rim, above or below, a better mid-range shooter. Give me Michael Jordan from 3. I don't need the percentages. All I need is to see Michael Jordan shoot, the shooting motion, the work ethic. You can see Michael Jordan worked on his shot. So as his career went on, his jump shot became, pretty much knocked down. LeBron James ain't no knockdown shooter. He's not. So once again, what are we talking about when he first says the advantage in scoring efficiency at nearly every type of shot in the court? What shot is LeBron James more efficient at? He's not. Michael Jordan's better with both hands. He's better driving both ways, spinning either way, posting up on either side. Come on, man. Like I said, finishing above or below. It's not close. LeBron James don't have the layered package of Michael Jordan. He don't have the dunk package of Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan had to finish over guys that were much bigger than him. In an era where you had legit rim protectors, shot blockers, guys that would enforce you, that would hurt you. But as you guys can see here, man, my goodness. I know it went super long. Once again, shout out to David Bulgaria for sending me the article. This fool Jake from the100greatest.com. If you want to go look at the website and clown this fool, go ahead. Dude don't know the game. This dude, think about it. He said LeBron at 40 is Magic in his prime. I'm going to read exactly what he said, guys, again, just so you guys get the effect. The disrespect to Magic Johnson in this quote. At 40 years old, James has essentially become Magic Johnson in his prime, but with a three-point shot. And he goes, seriously, if you aren't old enough to have seen Magic Johnson play basketball, LeBron at 40 is what it looked like. There's no one in the world that saw Magic Johnson play basketball that thinks that that's LeBron James, guys. Nobody, except for some fool like this who did not see Magic Johnson play, but claims he did. You guys know that these are crazy people like LeBron James fans, man. And don't forget, we got a live show, me and AOH, Running Scared. The dynamic duo's coming back, man. You guys know the deal. I'll catch you guys on the next one.